Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all you netball lovers, welcome to another exciting episode of Tell It As It Is. We are coming to you we are in Cape Town actually, at the World School DF Milan, where the Telkom Netball Championship is happening, and hence the background. For the first time, I will be interviewing a colleague, and it's none other than Bongani Mdunjana, who is Netball South Africa's Transformation and EPG Manager. EPG, what does it stand for? He's here to tell us all about it.
Thank you, Karabo, for having me. I feel special being the first colleague of yours that you actually interview. Yeah.
Nervous?
Nope.
Yeah, better not be
Hell
nervous.
no. I'm scared of you guys. I'm here to give you information.
Thank you very much. So, I know you've been involved, in netball. Besides being an administrator at Netball South Africa, you've got quite a journey. Take us back to you being a player. You've transitioned to umpiring and coaching. Tell us about your journey.
Someone did her homework. I started off netball, Karabo, not even realizing I'm getting into netball. Someone long ago convinced me that there's actually males netball, and I didn't believe him. I went and watched at Hoy Park, where actually the males are going to play championships this year. So I watched finals between two best teams in Durban that time, playing the Durban District League. The finals, it was Happy Club and Seven Stars. I've never seen, something relating to basketball, which I played a little bit, but more interesting. I got hooked from there. I got interested from there. I joined this men's team, and it became one of the best teams. It still is the best actually in Durban and in KZN, the team that I played for. And that's how my journey started with netball. Just playing. I know I used to play center, and nobody knew me until 2 years later, and I just out of nowhere surface and become competitive. I've got names actually that I can quote of people that that I played with. Olen, who's a team manager of the Fast 5 2024, was playing center then, thinner than he looks now. Hi, Olen. He was the best center, and I came in and started giving him competition, and it was interesting. Uveli, which got injured, was in the national team. Veli was playing defense then when I started playing. The former captain of the males team, Dukis came in as well, and we used to have such a battle on court. It was very interesting. That was my journey as a player.
Let's talk about stigmas. You were in KZN playing males netball. What were the stigmas attached to playing the sport?
Back then, it was very bad. One of the reasons why I had to be convinced that male actually play netball first was that because to me, when he said, I'm opening a male netball team and I want you to play, I said, wait a minute, do males play netball? If they do, are these males, if you know what I mean? So I wanted to see that. And luckily for me, when I got there, it was straight guys, if I may put it that way, that were playing netball, because the stigma that was attached to it, unlike other sports, if you are male and you are playing netball, you are gay. Some even think as ridiculous as we wear skirts when we play netball, because netball is for females, absolutely. So because they look at Banyana and Bafana, those ladies wear normal soccer kids, and they are ladies, and they're still ladies. So the assumption was, since ladies wear skirts when they play netball and dresses, that males also wear skirts. So it was a lot of stigma. To be honest with you, for almost a year to 2 years at home, they thought I was playing basketball, and I left it at that. Until the third year, when I had no choice. Now I'm getting called into a national squad, which was not a big thing then, because it was just a national squad at that champ. And then nothing happens, and then a national squad again the next. So I realized, I can't be making them think that I play basketball anymore. I remember I first told my dad, because he's a very sports person. He's very, at his age at that time, he was still playing tennis, he was still jogging, he was still cycling and all that. I told my dad, and my dad surprised me. Like, oh, that's interesting. You must let me know when you play so I come watch you play. I said, oh, so they won't think anything of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yes, I don't know in other provinces, but in KZN, there was a stigma attached to it, and I suppose that is why at that time 90% of males that were playing netball were actually straights. We were one province that was known, for having straight guys playing netball, unlike other provinces. I know there were gay guys that wanted to play netball, or gay guys in a closet or out wanting to play netball, but because of that, they're like, now I'm gonna.
That's sad.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
suck, and I'm glad to see young guys now, young boys playing netball, and they don't care freely. There's no stigma attached to it. It is a sport. You play netball with your girlfriend, you play netball with your boyfriend. Who cares?
Yes, no one does. You then transitioning into umpiring. How did that come about? Because I believe you were good as a player.
Umpiring was actually the same time as I was still a player, but umpiring slowly drifted me away from playing.
Yeah.
So KZN was hosting the SPA championships this one year in Bongani, and luckily for me at that time I already had I had just written my level 3 theory, and then I quickly just practiced my practicals, and I got my provincial B in KZN, which qualified me to go to the SPA champs to get my national grading. I got my national grading. I remember I got a C+ then, which is not a minimum grading. That means I was good. I got my C+, and I just fell in love with that whistle. I learned so much at the grading, things that I didn't think mattered. It was Dr. Brewer, the NSA director umpires at that time. She was very good. She taught us a lot of things, and I got obsessed because I went back home and tried all these things that I was marked down for. Umpire in and out at schools, at tournament, here, there. I was actually getting even invited at other district competition, where they want to be fair and get umpires from outside, because there was always a battle. Oh, this team won because Mang is part of the organizing committee, blah, blah, blah. So I used to get invited there for free, just get accommodation somewhere, and I would umpire. And from then, playing was not so much. I realized I'm starting to come to training and play just for fitness, and that I love netball. But my interest was more now into blowing a whistle, so much that it was even distracting my training and my playing, because now I know a lot about umpiring. When we are training and a call is made by the coach, I'm like, but that was contact before footwork. How are you blowing for footwork? That kind of thing. And it got me in trouble a lot of times. But yeah, that's how I drifted slowly from playing, umpiring. Boom.
Omo, Netball South Africa. And
yeah,
you get a very serious and important position.
Yep.
Transformation / EPG manager. What does that mean?
Explicit parental guidance.
Jokes.
Yes, Karabo, it is a very important one. It's a government mandate, actually. More than a job. NSA created a job, obviously, because someone must solely be looking after transformation of netball in the country, because we submit this to the government, to the Department of Sports. So EPG simply stands for Eminent Persons Group. It's basically a panel on the government side, also looking after transformation of sports. So it's not just netball, it's sports, particularly your netball, your rugby, your cricket, your football, your athletics. These are the sports that back in the apartheid era were, not what they're supposed to be in terms of the demographics of the country. So what EPG came in for was to assign this panel to look at this federation and monitor that they are working towards transforming their national teams. So basically, EPG is transformation, but on courts. It's transformation on courts. But obviously, you can't transform on courts when you don't have the correct players demographically.
Yes.
So districts are working hard at the bottom to transform their team so that when they get here, they have the right demographics, so that the Precious Mthembu and the Jennifer Day and whoever is in that selection panel, when they select, it's the right demographics that's going to feed into the Spar Proteas. So we have the right demographic in the Spar Proteas team, and that's what government wants to see. Because in South Africa, we have blacks, white, Indians, colored. So how do you explain when the Spar Proteas is only Indians?
Yes.
The government wants to know where are the whites, where are the blacks, where are the coloreds. So that's what EPG is all about. It's very important.
It's important and sounds like a huge task because it's not, for example, a district or a province. It's national.
Yep.
How difficult is it to coordinate, looking at the fact that it's something that is national?
It is, but it's not if you got your hands on the ball. So what I do is, in all 52 districts, I have an EPG coordinator. And then in 9 provinces, I also have an EPG coordinator. And remember, we also have our associate members, your school's netball, your USA, which I was at, your SNTF, your DCS, your deaf netball. Those are also associate members, meaning they are running netball in their own corners. Now, I have an EPG person who sees to it that I get the data that I'm looking for, so that I work out how far are we as Netball South Africa in terms of reaching our target, because you have to set a target for yourself.
Oh, okay.
If I have out of 15 Spar Proteas player, okay, and 14 of them are Indians, so I'm still looking for whites, for black, for mang. Surely my target is gonna be extremely tough because I need these people and I need them now. So these people help me coordinate, because it's very difficult from Netball South Africa to go down to the districts to get this information. So I have coordinators, Karabo, everywhere, which are doing a lovely work. It makes it easier for my work. We keep in touch all the time on email, on telephone. They contact me if they have any challenges, if they have any questions. I help out the best I can.
Yeah.
The other thing I do is also have a workshop. Ideally every year. It keeps us together because things change every year, which makes challenges tougher and differ every year. Yeah, but I've got a very supporting structure even at the office. At my back, I've got demarcation and structure, the president, who is actually responsible for EPG, because the government gives her hiding, not me. I've got that support behind as well.
Sure, Bongani.
You feel sorry for me?
I feel like it's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of work, and a lot goes into it. There's so much understanding that goes into it as well, and hence the importance of having those workshops, because it's not just for national teams.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
So even teams from provinces, they need to reach those targets that have been set.
Absolutely. It's exactly like that, Karabo. Teams from provinces are actually reaching those targets as well. Hence, I'll make you an example. Your TNL teams. Your TNL teams are approved by Netball South Africa because Bongani has the demographics of the ex-province. So when the ex-province submits a team, that's the other way around of their demographics, then they get disapproved. Transformation doesn't only speak about color. It speaks about opportunities. It speaks about inclusivity, be inclusive. So an ex-province has Y number of districts. So if you come with a provincial team with one district represented, then that raises eyebrows and questions are asked and the team is disapproved. Because as much as government is saying, my Spar Proteas cannot be a Karabo color. Where is the Bongani color? We also have a right to say the ex-province does not have only the Karabo color and where Karabos come from. That you have 7 districts. Why is your provincial team represented by 1 district? Surely something must be done if there are no TNL quality players at the other districts. Then you go out there and you do what you are in the position for, which is developing netball. You cannot say that people are jumping up and down, training day in, day out, and you can't produce another Precious Mthembu, you can't produce another Bongiwe Msomi, you can't produce another Potgieter or Karla, because that's what the positions are there for, to develop netball, give people opportunity, put them in a pathway, have a development plan, so that when the Bongiwe Msomi goes out, a Chawane comes in. When Potgieter comes out, you have another little Potgieter coming in, your Elmarie Fieser and all that. That's what EPG and transformation is actually about.
One would say, is there support though? Let's say it's these rural provinces, for example, so that there are TNL quality players from that province or rural area. Is there support?
On our side, as Netball, there is support in terms of programs. That's why we always insist on a district having a district league and a province having a provincial league, because umntanabantu ogquma in a court enojani kanje and ends there will never make it to a national team. But if there's a professional district league that is run by the executive of that district, that's where the identification of talent comes from. This Mdunjana will now also be playing a provincial league of that province. Your KZN Super League, for instance, I know in KZN you don't qualify to try for Kingdom Stars and Queen unless you play the Super League. And how you play the Super League is because you were number one at your district league. So if a number one this year in eThekwini District League qualifies to go and play the Super League, Agiriyabona, now there's a pathway. There you become a Kingdom Stars and a Kingdom Queens player. At TNL, you have your Jenny van Dijk looking at you, and that's how you make it through. So that's, as far as netball is concerned, covers the supporting and developing part. However, the government also has a role to play, because we need infrastructure. If I'm training, if I'm playing a league here, then you're comparing oranges and apple when I'm at TNL and playing in a wooden sprang, which is not fair. If you're looking for apples, then have apples compete together. Why am I there as an orange when you know you're looking for apples?
Sure. You're mentioning challenges, right? And mostly it's financials, it's infrastructure. Are there more challenges? Or these are the two main ones?
Yes, there are challenges, Karabo. There will always be challenges. People at the ground are not as informed as you would want them to be. Information is power. It comes from a good place when they train these people to be superstars, but with lack of information, it just drags the process. I'll give you an example where a district team is sent to the national championships. One, there's not enough money for accommodation and flights on those things. This player must be mentally fit for competing with players that don't have this kind of challenges. You know, that's number one. And number two, the manager comes with a lot of important information lacking. Kids get disqualified because they're not adhering to the rules. And that's still me, I'm sorry. I deal with compliance, with the rules and everything. And it's very sad. Kids get here and you have to chase them away because they don't qualify to play, which we try also to work around. But we can't be breaking our own rules, guys. Sure. So, there's always challenges. But for me, with my desk, my biggest challenge is the information, the compliance with the rules, the compliance with the target system. Remember, we still answer to government instead of transformation. So when people come here and they don't comply to the target system rule, it's very difficult to achieve that goal that the government wants.
What is the target?
So, Garabo, when a team, a district brings a team, remember they already have the demographics. Let me say, District A, their demographic is 50% white, 50% black, right? So when you come to our championship, at least if it's not 6-6 because the team is made out of turf.
Yeah.
If it's not 6-6, but at least have a combination of both. If you come now with 12 of one race, then that race is eyebrows because there's, 50% that is missing. Where did it disappear to? Okay. Moreover, on court, we have what we call a transformation rule. It was done in 2018 and adopted by Council, which is a tool we use to force districts for us to achieve what we need to achieve. So basically on court, out of 7 players, if you play 2 of Karabo and Bongani's race, the 5 must be of other race. Or else you can play 3 of us or 4 of us. So it's a 3-4, 5-2, but anyway, it just depends who your target players are. Zululand has different target players to Tswane.
Sure.
Now you see the
Yes,
difference.
makes sense.
You get it.
Yeah.
So we call them target players because it's players that you're supposed to be looking for. So normally your target players becomes a lesser number on courts, obviously. If Zululand target players are black people, then they would normally play 2 black people and 5 whites, or 3 black people and 4 whites. So if you don't comply with that system, there's a penalty for that. It forces you next year to bring a team of your demographics so that you don't suffer. Because teams win, but when Bongani penalize them, then they've lost the game. You see, and you can't be training so hard to win the game and lose it because of. But what's said again is those challenges where a coach comes here and they don't even know how these rules are applied.
Bongani, you're one of my colleagues that is in each and every tournament.
Are you complaining?
No, I'm not. I just want to understand why. Because clearly it's important for you to be there. Is it still based on this portfolio that you hold? Why are you in every tournament?
Absolutely, Karabo. It's not a vacation like most people think. They say, today you're flying here, next Sunday you are checking in another airport. Yeah, I'm where NSA is in terms of competition. Yes, Karabo, it's part of my work. It actually starts at the office where when teams are submitted, I need to first check if they registered because we are professional. You can't come from the bush and come and play at the national level. So you must be an NSA registered member to participate. So I first check that. And at competition on arrival day, there's what we call registration. You've seen me during registration, Moss. At registration, we still must make sure that the Karabo on paper is the Karabo that's here. Because you can easily put Karabo on paper, but have a Bongo Somi coming to compete, which is cheating. So we check that at registration. People register to trial because the selectors don't know people by name. And it's a good thing that they don't, because then you select people based on performance. So you don't have to know my name. Numbers, they get registered with selection numbers. I need to also manage that process. And there are also rules that need to be applied as early as registration so that you don't get disqualified when you play. So I must be at all the championships. I must be monitoring games, especially of the district that I flag. I flag you guys, hey, I flag you. District that I flag, I will give you an example. So if a district out of 12 players bring 2 target players, this means that this district can only play 2 5. Which means that these 2 poor girls must play 4 quarters of every game, the whole. Is there anyone fit enough to do that? So sooner or later, someone is going to get injured. They're going to start playing 6-1, which we don't have. And Bongani must keep record of this so that I can pose the appropriate penalty when the score sheet comes. I need to do all these things, Karabo. And it's a nice job. I make friends and I make enemies, and it has a lot of work, as you are saying.
You were fun, you were exciting, you were very informative. I'd like to do things differently, wrapping it up. Can you wrap up? So you just say bye until we do it again. Thank you so much for tuning in.
You know what? When someone wants you to take their job, I've never seen them asking this way.
I'm giving you the pleasure.
I've never seen them doing this way. They do it by not coming to work, by dodging work,
And then
by coming drunk at work.
Stand in.
And then Bongani stands in because the boss asked them to. Now,
yes,
the actual person asks you, okay, Netballer, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a great pleasure having me on Karabo's show. Until we meet again, thumbs up. You can request, there's the tagline here at the bottom for me to come back again. How is that for
anything up? And it's a wrap.